Welcome to the deep dive. We've been wading through quite a pile of sources, articles, reports, notes, all about identity theft, scams, and hacking, looking specifically at how things are really evolving here in 2025.
Yeah, and digging into this stuff, it just jumps out at you, doesn't it? The way these threats operate has fundamentally shifted. They're smarter, way more subtle, and honestly much harder to pin down than before.
Absolutely. So that's our mission for this deep dive. We're pulling out the most crucial bits from all this material so you can grasp these modern threats. And importantly, know exactly what steps to take to protect yourself.
Right. And also, what to do if the worst happens, if your identity is compromised despite your best efforts.
We need that recovery plan, too.
Definitely. And what's really striking, I think, is a recurring theme across the sources. It's not just about the tech, though that's huge. It's also deeply tied to, human behavior, how much data we put out there, and even, kind of surprisingly, the potential cost of being seen as, well, too nice.
Okay, let's unpack that. Starting with just how much the landscape has changed, the scale seems immense now, and the methods. Wow. Scams feel more psychologically tuned, hacking more organized.
And AI-driven, very focused on stealth.
Right. So how exactly have these threats evolved based on what we're seeing?
Well, a huge factor is AI's role. It's not just behind the scenes anymore. AI is actively generating incredibly convincing voice calls, emails, even video deepfakes. They sometimes only need a tiny sample of someone's real voice.
Like that case in the UK.
Exactly. That awful story where scammers used an AI clone of a daughter's voice asking for emergency money. Cost the family, what, $250,000?
Unbelievable.
And AI also helps attackers simulate behavior, probe systems for weaknesses, analyze targets much faster.
And all this is fueled by data, right?
Yeah.
Which seems easier than ever for them to get.
Oh, absolutely. The sheer amount of personal data readily available is alarming. It's not always about some massive corporate breach anymore. Often it's simpler stuff, like those online quizzes people do. Labeled packages in the recycling, old mail you didn't shred, unsecured public Wi-Fi, or just, sharing way too much on social media.
So basic slip-ups.
Yeah, and the stat on that is pretty stark. Something like 73% of identity theft victims last year had their initial data scraped from these kinds of low security, sometimes public sources. The data's just out there.
So we're way past just simple phishing emails or guessing passwords.
Oh, light years past that. This is where it gets really interesting and, frankly, a bit unnerving. We're seeing things like biometric hacking.
Biometric? I thought fingerprints and Face ID were supposed to be secure.
Mostly, not foolproof. Hackers are figuring out ways to reconstruct fingerprints from high-res photos, people flashing a peace sign in pictures.
Seriously?
Yeah, and creating synthetic faces or voices good enough to trick some biometric systems. There was that case where a voice was cloned from just a 20-second voicemail.
They're used to steal money.
$35,000
Yeah.
Almost instantly. It's chilling.
Wow. And it feels like the attack surface is just growing, even our homes.
Smart homes are definitely a target. Every connected device, your TV, thermostat, cameras, even like smart fridges, is a potential door in.
And people don't secure them properly.
A huge percentage, maybe 70%, still use the default passwords they came with. And firmware updates, often missed. That leaves massive holes. We saw an example where a hacked baby monitor was the entry point.
A baby monitor? What happened?
They used it to get the Wi-Fi password, then pivoted to access laptops, banking info, everything on the network.
That's genuinely terrifying. Okay, what about directly targeting our finances, like banking?
The threats there have gotten sneakier too. Invisible banking Trojans are a big one. This is malware that just runs silently in the background.
Doing what?
Tracking keystrokes, grabbing anything you copy to your clipboard, even modifying legitimate banking websites as you're looking at them to steal your login details. You see the normal page, but it's been hijacked underneath.
And how does that get on your computer?
Often hidden in things like browser extensions, dodgy PDF files, apps you download from somewhere other than the official store.
Okay. And I read about something called synthetic identity fraud. It sounds complex.
It is, and it's really nasty. They take a piece of real data, like maybe a stolen social security number, and combine it with completely fake information, name, birth date, address.
To create a whole new fake person.
Exactly, a synthetic identity. Then they use that identity to open credit cards, get loans, even medical services. Because it's not directly tied to your established credit file initially, you might not know for months.
Until the bills start piling up under that fake name but tied to your SSN somehow.
Or it starts messing with your actual credit, or you get collection calls for debts you never incurred.
Which sounds related to medical identity theft.
Very much so. That's when someone uses your identity specifically for medical purposes, getting prescriptions, treatment, filing fraudulent insurance claims.
How would you even find that out?
Often the hard way. Maybe you get denied a procedure you need because your insurance says you've hit a limit, or you get bills for treatments you never had, or your own medical records suddenly have incorrect diagnoses or information in them.
So the tech side is advancing like crazy, but you mentioned the human element earlier, this idea of social engineering 3.0.
Yeah, it's gone way beyond a simple fake email. Attackers now put serious time into building elaborate fake personas. It's called pretexting.
How do they do that?
They scrape data from your social media, maybe old emails if they breached an account, dating profiles. They might even join online groups. You're in support groups, hobby forums, just to build rapport and create a believable story.
And then they use that trust.
Exactly. And combine it with those beat fake impersonations we talked about. Imagine getting a call sounds exactly like your boss or a family member asking for urgent help, money, or sensitive info.
Very convincing, I bet.
Extremely. And on the purely technical side, beyond just passwords, they're targeting our defenses too. Things like intercepting passkeys, more sophisticated SIM swap scams to take over your phone number, even cloning eSIMs remotely now, or hijacking cloud authenticator apps through session theft. If they get your second factor, your password doesn't matter much.
Okay, this is a lot. Knowing the threats is one thing, but protection is key. What are the absolute essential strategies coming out of the research?
Well, bedrock is still good. Cyber hygiene, non-negotiable. Use a password manager. Seriously. Unique, strong passwords for every single site.
No reusing passwords.
Absolutely not. Enable multi-factor authentication, MFA, everywhere you can, and ideally, use a hardware key or an authenticator app, not just SMS codes.
Because of the SIM swapping risk?
Precisely. SMS is just too vulnerable. Avoid public Wi-Fi for anything sensitive. Use a VPN or your phone's hotspot. Secure those smart home devices. Change the default passwords immediately. Turn off features you don't use. Keep the firmware updated.
Updates seem crucial across the board.
Weekly. Get in the habit of updating all your software operating systems, browsers, apps, at least once a week. Those updates often patch critical security holes.
Okay, that's the digital side. What about, like, physical stuff?
Often overlooked, but vital. Shred everything with personal info. Not just bills, but junk mail, prescription labels, everything. Consider a locking mailbox.
Little things.
Yeah, and basic home security helps too. Cameras, motion lights act as deterrents. And please, don't label your house key or hide a spare under the mat. That's just asking for trouble.
Now that piece of advice that caught my eye, stop being too nice. That sounds harsh.
It does, doesn't it? But the sources really emphasize how scammers exploit our natural kindness and desire to be helpful or avoid awkwardness. It's not about being mean.
It's about boundaries.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that without clear boundaries, your niceness can be turned against you. Protecting yourself sometimes means saying no, even if it feels uncomfortable.
So practically, what does that mean? Don't let strangers in your house.
That's a basic one, yeah. Don't loan money casually to people you barely know without documentation. Don't give rides to people you just met. Be wary if someone asks to quickly borrow your phone.
Are there warning signs to look for?
The research highlights patterns. Constant emergencies, stories that keep changing, pressure tactics or emotional outbursts if you hesitate, maybe small items going missing after someone visits. The advice is basically, assume manipulation might be possible until trust is earned, and state your boundary clearly without feeling you need to justify it endlessly.
That's a significant mental shift. What about more specific financial or ID protection steps?
File your taxes early. That beats scammers trying to file a fake return in your name first. And get an IRS Identity Protection PN, an IPPCAN. It's an extra layer of security for your tax filing. Good tip. Also, be extremely skeptical of unsolicited calls from government agencies, SSA, Medicare, IRS. Hang up. Find the official number yourself on their real website and call that if you need to check something.
Don't trust the number they give you?
Never. Same for package delivery notices. Use the official tracking from the retailer's website or your confirmation email, not some random number on a door tag or text message.
Okay. And protecting our credit itself, what's the best move there?
This is probably the single most powerful thing you can do, and it's free. Freeze your credit with all 3 bureaus.
How does that work?
A credit freeze basically locks down your credit report. No one, including you, can open a new line of credit, like a credit card or loan in your name, while the freeze is active. You have to temporarily lift it yourself if you need to apply for credit.
And you have to do it with all three.
Yes, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. You contact each one directly through their official website or phone number to place the freeze. It's mandated by law to be free.
And credit monitoring services.
They're useful as an alert system. They tell you after something suspicious has happened. But a freeze prevents many types of fraud from happening in the first place. Monitoring is good. Freezing is better protection against new account fraud.
Right. Prevention is ideal. But realistically, it can still happen. If you suspect you're a victim, what's the absolute first thing you do? The immediate must-do steps.
Okay, the sources are very clear on the immediate sequence. Step 1. Place a fraud alert.
How?
Contact one of the 3 credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, or TransUnion. Just one.
Huh.
They're required to tell the other 2. This alert flags your file, makes businesses verify your identity more carefully before opening new credit. It lasts a year, and you can renew it.
Okay, fraud alert first. Step 2.
Get your free credit reports immediately. Go to annualcreditreport.com, that's the official site, or call their number. Get reports from all 3 bureaus and scour them for any accounts, inquiries, or information you don't recognize.
Annualcreditreport.com. Got it. Step 3.
Report it to the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. Their website is identitytheft.gov, or you can call them. This is vital. They'll give you an official identity theft report.
And why is that report important?
It's crucial proof you're a victim. You'll need it for disputing fraudulent accounts, dealing with police, debt collectors. The FTC site also gives you a personalized recovery plan.
Okay. And step 4.
File a police report. Take that FTC identity theft report, plus your ID and any evidence you have, down to your local police department. File an official report.
Why is the police report necessary on top of the FTC one?
The police report adds legal weight. It's often required by creditors to remove fraudulent debts, and it's necessary if you ever need to press charges or take other legal action.
Makes sense. Beyond the FTC and local police, are there other specific agencies that can help?
Yes, several, and their help is free.
Yeah.
The NTC is your main hub. But if taxes are involved, contact the IRS Identity Protection Unit. They can help sort out tax fraud and get you that IPPIN for future protection.
What if your Social Security number was used?
Contact the Social Security Administration's fraud hotline. They can track misuse and, in severe cases, discuss options like getting a new SSN, though that's a big step. For mail theft or fraud related to the Postal Service, contact the U.S. Postal Inspection Service. For online scams, phishing, any cyber fraud, report it to the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, IC3.
And if your driver's license was stolen or misused?
Your state's DMV. Get it flagged or replaced. And there are also nonprofits like the National Consumer League's fraud.org, which is a great place to report consumer scams and get advice.
What about legal recourse? If the damage is significant, can you actually sue someone or force companies to fix things?
You have options. That police report is step 1 for legal standing. You can also report the issue to your state attorney general's Consumer Protection Division. Sometimes they can mediate or even take action against bad actors. You can find your state's office via nag.org.
And if you know who did it or suspect someone?
If you have solid evidence pointing to a specific person, a lawyer might advise sending a formal cease and desist letter via certified mail. But definitely don't confront someone casually. That can be risky.
So hiring a lawyer might be needed sometimes.
For complex cases, yes. An attorney specializing in identity theft or consumer protection can help file lawsuits to recover damages, force companies to remove fraudulent information from your records, or deal with aggressive debt collectors. Resources like nclc.org or lawhelp.org can help find legal aid, sometimes low cost or free.
Any other key recovery actions we missed?
Yeah, don't forget to proactively contact all the businesses involved directly. Your banks, credit card companies, loan providers, utilities, even your health insurer. Tell them about the ID theft. Ask them to flag your accounts, close compromised accounts, and issue new numbers.
And replace compromised IDs.
Absolutely. If your actual SS card, driver's license, or passport were stolen or compromised, get them replaced through the official channels.
This sounds exhausting. It really underscores the impact. What do the sources say about the real costs beyond just the dollar amount stolen?
The costs are just devastating. Financially, the average hit per victim in 2024 was over $12,000, and maybe even more sobering. About 20% of victims never fully recover their losses.
20%. Wow.
Yeah. But the emotional toll is often worse. Victims report PTSD symptoms, high anxiety, depression. It can wreck your credit, impact job prospects, strain relationships, even lead to divorce. It creates this long-term instability.
And the time involved. You said it takes a long time to fix.
The average time spent actively cleaning up identity theft, 12 to 18 months. That's a year to a year and a half of constant phone calls, paperwork, stress.
So bringing this back to you, the listener, this isn't just statistics. The impact on your life, your finances, your mental health, your time, it's incredibly significant if this happens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, and this is crucial, the message isn't hopelessness. You are not powerless. Recovery is hard, it takes persistence, but it is possible if you follow the steps. And prevention, being vigilant, protecting your information, it's not just optional anymore. In 2025, digital safety is basically survival.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. How the threats have changed with AI and data exploitation, the specific vulnerabilities from biometrics to smart homes, those key prevention steps, both tech and that mental shift, and the detailed recovery roadmap.
And maybe a final thought to leave folks with, drawn from the sources. Everything is so interconnected now, right? Our digital lives, our physical lives, our finances, our social interactions. That connection brings convenience, but it also increases vulnerability. Finding your right balance between embracing that connectivity and fiercely guarding your personal space, both online and off. That might be the biggest ongoing challenge for all of us in 2025. What does that balance look like for you?
That's definitely something to think about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We really hope this breakdown helps you feel more informed, more prepared to navigate these challenges.
Stay aware, stay vigilant, and please take those preventative steps we talked about. Don't wait until it's too late.
Until next time.